the fat of the land. The name kind of says it all. This is what the Barossa Valley is all about. Pleasure, hedonism, joy, flavor, intensity, richness, and ... terroir. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. You know, contrary to popular belief, like what the what the Australian wine fake news wants to tell you, there's great terroir in the Barossa Valley. Fabulous terroir, actually. You know, I once did a little tasting of the same wine, oaked and unoaked, from the Barossa. And a lot of people associated the flavors and richness, that spice character and the juiciness of the fruit with American oak. And in fact, hate to break it to you, but it's the terroir. The terroir generates that incredible richness of flavor, that spicy character, that joy in the wines, which is why everybody fell in love with the wines in the first place, and they're still in love with them. They just don't want to admit it. That being said, we're going to make it easier to fall in love with super premium Aussie Shiraz again with this incredible deal. As you can see, I got a trio of wines in front of me. We're just going to try one today for the sake of brevity. But I will say that all three of these are must-buys, simply based on the fact that if you didn't think Australia or the Barossa Valley had terroir, well, you're wrong. And these wines will prove it to you, and at a particularly sensational price. So let's get into it. This is John Retzis. This is the company's first drop, which a lot of you have bought a ton of the Mother's Milk Shiraz from us. It is one of the greatest value Shiraz propositions on the planet, has been for years. 92 points Spectator every year in their top 100, 60% of the time. Just amazing wine for the money. But what a lot of people might not know is that John also makes super premium wines from the Barossa Valley. These he calls the fat of the land. And what he does a series, he's always done it, it's a trio of single region Shiraz wines that he vinifies all in the same fashion, but they all have their slight differences, their nuances based on these stylistic shifts within the Barossa Valley. So, starting from the north, we'll talk about the Ebenezer. Ebenezer is the warmest area in the Barossa Valley. It's the most furthest, well, north or east. On some maps it looks northeast, that side. Old vines here, great power, great concentration, great richness. Then you have Seppeltsfield. Seppeltsfield, did I just put my hand on Grenache? No, that's Ebenezer. You have Seppeltsfield. Oh, it's the one that's open, because that's the one I want to try. You have Seppeltsfield, which Seppeltsfield is like super classic. This is like one of the hearts of the Barossa Valley, where Seppelts and a lot of these other famous wineries set up shop. The wines here have great power, great intensity, a little less, you know, the Ebenezer ones are a little more like what you think of as classic Barossa, that little more kind of over the top. The Seppeltsfield is more in line. And then you got Grenache. And Grenache, you remember the Grenache Creek wines, you remember some of the top two hands bottlings. Grenache is a beautiful area right next door to Seppeltsfield, pretty much, that here we have a little more elegance, such as it is for the Barossa Valley, but a little more refinement in the wines. What you get is you get three distinctive takes, beautiful, delicious distinctive takes on one of the most unique and beautiful wine regions on the planet. All French oak here, no American oak, kids. And no, I don't like Shiraz, it has American oak. No American oak. Actually, less American oak here than most of your Napa Valley Cabernets nowadays. And we're dealing with the 2018 vintage. 2018, the wines have been released for a while. His distribution scenario here, while top-notch, a cat who knows more about, maybe one of the cats that knows more about Australian wine than me in the country, he was just too stretched. He represents a lot of super premium portfolios. He's brilliant at what he does, but he was too stretched. I don't think he had necessarily the bandwidth to successfully distribute these wines. John came to us and said, let's make a deal. And we said, we would love to make a deal. Because we already knew the wines. We already knew they were great. So this was like one of the easiest deals we've ever made. It's like someone handing you brilliant wine at no money. Well, They're not cheap, but they're definitely not expensive anymore. Let's check this out. Yeah. You know, the best tasting note I ever saw for Barossa Shiraz was, I don't know if it was an Aussie critic, but they called the wine slippery. And this wine is slippery. Beautiful, lush, velvety, super high quality tannin here. About a third new French oak. So all French oak, about a third new. And you just get all that spice, clove, plum. It's not that chocolatey, mind you. I think a lot of people think that these wines are going to be chocolatey or porty. No, it's not that. This is just beautiful, slinky, slippery, velvety, yummy Barossa Shiraz. It's so fun to drink. I'm going to drink some more. Like we did with like the Lindis, the Remayuri offering, and some other things we've done in the past, I think it really is imperative that you buy the set. They all got scores, by the way. Everything's between, 94 and 96 points. So that's not the issue. You can look it up. That's not the issue. The issue is, do you want world-class Shiraz with bottle age from one of the top producers in the appellation in a top year, and you get to learn. Seppelsfield, Ebenezer, Greenock. These are three of the greatest wine growing areas of the world. They've all made 100-point wines. And you get it all right in front of you. Bam, bam, bam. If you want to buy it by the six-pack, look at these boxes. Ow! No brainer. The only problem we have here is volumes. We literally took everything you had, but it's literally 70 bottles of this, 80 bottles of that, 80 bottles of that. That's kind of what we're looking at here. All right. So there's not tonnage of any one thing. And again, I'd encourage you to click hard, click fast, and really get a grip on what makes the Barossa so great. These are some of the greatest red wines in the world. And at half price, they're also sensational values. Heavy bottles, heavy wood, heavy duty wines, brilliant wines. Get your fat of the land at 50% off today. Click below.